My channel. Today we're going to be making a custom button in Xcode 8.1 with Swift 3. Let's jump right into it. Alright, go ahead and start your Xcode and select a single view application. I'm going to name my application custom button, but you can name yours whatever you like. And I'm going to put it in my dev folder. Alright. First, we are going to go to the main storyboard and we are going to add a button to our view. So let's add this button. We're going to change the height and width of our button to 100. So 100 by 100. Let's make sure that it's in the center of the container by adding the horizontal in container and vertical in container. Let's update. And of course, I didn't add my constraints. So change it back to 100 and you add your height and width constraints. That way it doesn't change sizes on you. Go back to my inspector and I'm going to delete the name of our button. Next we go into our folder and we add a new file. So file, new file, and it's going to be a Cocoa Touch file. You can name your Cocoa Touch file whatever you like. I'm going to name mine circle or designable button. That sounds like a good name for a class. Before we get into it, I'm gonna go back to the main storyboard and change the class of our button to designable button. Now in our class for designable button, let's at the top of our class add the IB designable. This we can delete, and next we are going to add the draw function. So override draw function, and I'm going to add a layer corner radius, which is going to be set equal to 0 right now, and then I'm going to add a layer background color, and it's going to be equal to two properties that we are going to be able to change in the main storyboard by using the IB inspectable property. By changing fill color, which is going to be our background color for our layer, it's going to be of type UI color and it's going to equal UI color dot blue. And our border radius can be an IB inspectable because we want to be able to design it in the storyboard. So that's going to be IB inspectable, say, make it simple, corner radius. Is going to be of type CG float, if I can type, equals 0. Now we go down to here and we change this to corner radius and we change our background to fill color as a CG color. Now our next task we are going to want to do is go to our storyboard and see how it is interacting. So let our storyboard compile. It's taking forever. Come on, Xcode. And there we go. We have the ability to change the color now. And we can also set the border radius. Let's go ahead and make our button into a circle button by setting a 50 border radius. Now we have a nice, beautiful button. Now, what if we want a plus and minus inside our button? Well, we could go over to our title and add a plus button, but you see it's really tiny and small. that isn't going to help us much. We can change our property to 120, and it didn't change. Go into here, change our font size to 120, and our button seems a little off. It's not center. We could play around with the inspector, or we could do it programmatically, like we are about to do. We go back to our our designable button class, file, and we make ourselves, inside the draw function, a UI bizarre path. First, let's create a height for our plus button, which is going to be of type CG float. And it's going to be equal to 4.0, and let's make a let for our plus width, which is going to be of type CG float. And that is going to equal the minimum bounds.width and the bounds.height times 0.6. Next, we create our path, which is going to be var plus path. It's going to be of type UI bizarre path. And then we start creating our lines. So let's create a line width first. So plus path dot line width is going to be equal to our height. So let's say h. And you might be wondering why I chose to name them plus h and plus w. Well, if we go up to our top of our file and add another IB inspectable, make it a var and say plus height, and we'll set that as a CG float, and we'll set it equal to 0. Later we're going to change this into our plus height. That way we can change the line width inside the main storyboard. Let's add our minus button to the circle. So I'm going to say plus path dot move to CG point, and it's going to be x bounds dot width divided by 2 plus w divided by 2 plus 0.5. Next we'll say y bounds dot height, if I can type, divided by 2 plus 0.5. Next, let's add ourselves a line. So plus path dot add line. It's going to be CG point, and of course I should have made that right there. Parentheses, and first our x is going to be bounds dot width divided by 2 minus plus w divided by 2 plus 0.5. Next, for our y, we're going to say bounds dot height divided by 2 plus 0.5. 0.5. Now this should be our minus. Put plus w, yeah, plus w. Next, we want to add our line, but I want to be able to manipulate the line color. So before I add the line, I'm going to say IB inspectable var plus path color is going to be of type UI color And it's going to equal, I say, UI color.white. Next, adding the minus button. So to add the minus button, we say plus path, our plus path color dot set stroke, and plus path dot stroke to add the stroke to the button. Let's hop over to our main storyboard, let it compile, and see if we have a minus button. And we do. We do have a minus button. But we can't change the width of it yet. Can we change the color? Yes. Okay, let's be able to change the width in the main storyboard. Go over to your plus height and change it to plus height, or not. There we go. Now if you go back to the main storyboard, you'll be able to change the width of your minus button. Now let's add the vertical line to our button. So we say plus path, move to CG point. Our CG point is going to be x bounds dot width divided by 2 plus 0.5, and our y is going to be bounds dot height divided by 2 plus w divided by 2 plus 0.5. Next, we draw our line, or add our line with plus path, add line to CG point. Our x bounds is bounds.width divided by 2, and I didn't divide there. Divide by 2, say plus 0.5. Next, our y is bounds.height divided by 2 plus w divided by 2 plus 0.5. Oh, for some reason they have to be separated. Alright, let's go to our main storyboard and see what we have here. Let our main storyboard compile. And we don't have a plus button. Huh. Let's go back to our file. Oh. This plus was supposed to be a minus. Now let's go back to our main storyboard and see compile. We have ourselves a nice beautiful plus button. Now we can also make this into a minus button if we add an if statement. So let's say if is add button, and this is for the vertical line, and let's add an attribute that will be a bool to say if it is an add button, add a vertical line. So var is add button. It's going to be of type bool, and we're going to set it equal to true. Let's go to our main storyboard. And we have our new property is add button off. Now we have ourselves a minus button. If you command D to duplicate the button, we can change this one into our plus button. Now you have full customizability of your custom button. You can also add more to it, but I'm going to leave that up to you to research. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully more will be coming soon.